Hey everybody, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here. And in artificial intelligence news, we've got to talk about OpenAI, though truthfully this could apply to their competitors as well. And we're going to talk about the latest way OpenAI's products can kill us, outside of Terminators naturally. Now, Granis Burke and Hilke Shellman of the Associated Press had a really good write-up on this, and let's talk about OpenAI because they have touted their artificial intelligence powered transcription tool. This is known as Whisper, and Whisper, they say, has a near, quote, human-level robustness and accuracy. But here's the thing. Whisper has a major flaw. It's prone to hallucinate. It makes up chunks of text or even entire sentences, according to interviews, and basically with more than a dozen researchers, engineers, developers, etc., etc. Now, some of this invented text or hallucination can include racial commentary, violent rhetoric, and even imagined medical treatments. Such fabrications obviously are problematic because Whisper is being used by a ton of industries worldwide to basically translate and transcribe interviews, generate text in popular consumer technologies, and also create subtitles for videos. Now, here's the concerning thing with all of that, because it's one thing to be in a Zoom meeting talking about whatever, and okay, yeah, it screws up the financial numbers as it's transcribing or something, and now you're running off bad numbers, but it gets worse than that, because what's more concerning here is the rush by medical centers to start utilizing Whisper-based tools to basically transcribe consultations with patients, and essentially that is an issue because OpenAI has warned that the tools should not be used in high-risk domains. And I would have to imagine a consultation with a sick patient or a needing patient could be considered high risk, yet here we are, medical centers adopting this. The full extent of the problem is difficult to discern for the record, because these researchers and engineers say they have frequently come across Whisper's hallucinations in their work. Now, a University of Michigan researcher conducting a study on public meetings, for example, said that he found hallucinations in 8 out of 10 audio transcriptions that he inspected before he started trying to improve the model. In other words, he'd listen to the audio, read the transcript, and they didn't match. So a machine learning engineer on top of that said that he initially discovered hallucinations in about half of the over 100 hours of Whisper transcriptions that he analyzed. A third developer said he found hallucinations in nearly 1 out of 26,000 transcripts he created with Whisper as well. Now, obviously, this doesn't just affect, OpenAI. We see transcription issues all the time. So, for example, if you're watching the YouTube video of this, it does an automatic transcription with closed captioning. And by virtue of that, I have gotten complaints of like, well, the transcription is wrong, or it actually has slurs, in it and all that kind of stuff. Obviously things I'm not saying, right? But this is a minor thing for me. I'm not in the medical field. And the problem persists even in well-recorded short audio samples. A recent study by computer scientists uncovered 187 hallucinations in more than 13,000 clear audio snippets that they examined, meaning this isn't garbled, nobody's shouting through a tunnel or from a mile away. This is a very clear recording, as clear as you can hear me. And they're finding hallucinations. They're finding incorrect stuff. That trend then, if you're looking at that line, would lead to tens of thousands of faulty transcriptions over millions of recordings. And that's the problem that we have. Imagine a medical transcription where the the doctor prescribes some medication. It is transcribed wrong to the incorrect prescription. That prescription is issued and the patient is affected, possibly killing the patient. Maybe the patient doesn't need or can't take blood pressure medication because of something and it's accidentally prescribed to them. That could potentially kill a patient. Not to mention the fact that we have people that have allergies to specific things, and by virtue of that, if they're prescribed incorrect things because this hallucinates, that's a huge issue. And so if it's just making stuff up, or it's hearing, quote unquote hearing, let's say a doctor prescribes something incorrectly, that's a problem. And so by virtue of that, I think it really behooves us to understand that while large language models have taken the world by storm, and I can sit there and type with ChatGPT and it'll answer all the questions in the universe, relatively speaking, we have to understand that there are practical applications, but there are also dangerous applications because this is in its infancy. We're only a couple of years into widespread adoption of large language models, and therefore the tangent of large language models, meaning absorbing audio, video, all those kinds of things, it's not going to be bulletproof. And if you're in a job that requires, let's say, you to measure the building as an architect to like 1/10 of a millimeter, and this thing is transcribing you as 10 feet to the left on a load-bearing wall, or it's prescribing the wrong medication, or, you know, you're Boeing and it basically is telling you, oh, you don't need bolts in the plane door or something like that, and so you don't put them in. And I'm not saying that's what happened to Boeing. We all know that didn't, but you get what I'm saying. This is a problem that we have. And by virtue of that, we need to really take a step back and understand how AI is functioning, how it needs to be trained, and really scrutinize the results. And when a doctor is seeing 20 patients a day or whatever, you know, in between, I don't know, golf sessions or whatever, because doctors always make me wait for some reason. The point is that they are going to rely on those transcriptions, and their assistants, the nurses, the transcribers are going to take those and essentially do essentially what the doctor needs. Fill the prescriptions, order the tests, whatever it is. And the last thing I want to have, you know, is, I don't know, like my leg be ordered to amputate when all it needs is an exam, right? So this is an issue. And I think we need to correct this, but I think we also need to understand this. So if you are listening to this and you are interested in adopting transcription services and you are in a critical high-risk field, I wouldn't do it just yet. I'd wait for it to get better, and if you are doing it right now, you definitely have to scrutinize the results, which therefore kind of negates what the AI should be doing, which means you have to stop and take time to read what it did because it didn't do it right. So take that for what it's worth, but honestly, good luck to us all, and at the end of the day, I just hope we stay alive and keep our legs. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP, and please feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well, and as always, stay safe, stay online, and please attempt to stay private. Thanks, everybody.